How to create circular text in Affinity Photo and use it as a brushstroke. Go here and select Ellipse tool. Just going to create a circle, so click the document and hold down the shift and drag and release. Then go to the artistic text tool, and I'm going to go with this font and bold 144. You can change everything afterwards. That's probably easier. So hover over the circle and then just click and just add some text. I'm just going to add just general anything, and you can see you can create that. What you can then do is you can go to individual parts and just select that. So select that area, and then you go here and you can change the font. You can also change this, go for regular or bold italic. You can click here and you can change a colour, and you can go to another section and do the same. So let's just select a different one, Geneva, click here and blue, and maybe change the size again, and you can see as you change it, a variety of different designs. However, you can also go here to character, and you've got a range of other options here. This is in view menu, studio and character. So view, studio and character. And you can change the slant, so maybe go for 45. And you can see it slants, and you can vary other things as well. Now I've already created something earlier, so let's just remove that. Here's my earlier design. Well, this design, I can add effects to it. Go to the layers panel. Now you could add a shadow. I always find that shadows make the whole design a lot darker, so it's probably best to avoid. You might also like to avoid having dark characters there, so it's just maybe go for blue or green. So instead of going for black, let's just click there, go for something else. Just make, sometimes you end up with seeing a very dark sort of all the way through your brushstroke, which you may or may not want. And again, you can still go and change the font there. You can decide to go for something else. So you've got this design. You can go to the layers panel and go to effects. So click there and go for 3D or one of the others. Whole range of them. Again, outer shadow often makes the brushstroke a bit dark for my taste. But you can change direction and so on. So I'm just going to go for a nice light design and close. Unfortunately, you can't just save it to a brush now. Be nice if you could, but you just can't do that. What you need to do is go to Layer and down to Rasterize. So Rasterize and deselect this, the Preserve Layer Effects. Click Rasterize, and now you've got your pixel layer. And now you can save as a brush. So as brush, just go to the Brushes panel, right side menu, and that's in the View menu and Studio and Brushes. Go down here to New Brush from Selection. That will save anything that's a pixel layer, so it could be any design. So New Brush from Selection. You could save that, and you can see it there. Now you can modify this design as well. You could squeeze it, you could rotate it, also apply filters to it. Maybe create multiple designs, copies. So hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate the design. And then use that and create a brushstroke from that. A whole variety of different options are possible with this. But I've created it now, so let's just move that out of the way. And here's the brush. Here's the brush. You can see it right at the bottom of this panel, and I've called it the category text. You can create a category text very easily. Just go to the top here, and you've got create new category. So if you want text brushes, just add them to a text or type selection. But at this point, you can use this one, or you can double click and you can modify it. You can also duplicate the design as well. So if you want, you can just duplicate the brush so that the original one will not be modified. This will be the one that's modified. So you can change here, size. Now I don't like the size being really big because obviously the image is not that big. So just reduce it down a bit. You can modify the spacing. You can make it very cut so you can get like a nozzle design very quickly. You can also modify the rotation, so you can see you can rotate it around. And you can also change the dynamics. You can change the size jitter, so you can change that. And that will use pressure. So if you're using an art pad and pen, that's useful. You can also change the rotation jitter. Now, if you've got random set on here, rotation and random, you can see the result. It generates all these different, it just randomizes the angle. but you can change it to pressure. So it does exactly the same as the size jitter. So you can control it again by the art pad and pen. So you can just move that around. And also you can change the hue jitter as well. So you can see it's just randomized, but you can also, instead of having it random, use pressure. So it will just change using pressure. So you can just modify it, and of course you can vary it. You don't have to go full on 100%. You can go a bit lower, up to you. And close. And now you can apply it. So let's just go here, let's move that out of the way. Go to the paintbrush tool and then select an art pad and pen. Once you've done that, make certain you select the brush. Sometimes you've created it, you've modified it, and you end up using the last brush, which is not always ideal. So make certain you've got that selected and then apply it. And you can see as you do that, just applies. And you can, of course, you don't have to go with this like that. It makes it a very nozzle-like sort of design, but you can always double click, change the spacing, maybe spread it out so it doesn't click close, or maybe add dynamics scatter so it spreads it out in the X direction, so it makes it, and again you can modify that. It's got random by default, but you can always set it to pressure, so you can modify it again with pressure. Likewise, pressure there. I wish it would default to pressure when you're always putting pressure for the other ones. It would be nice if it defaulted to that, but you can modify it and now apply it, and you can see the result. You can create very, very close brush strokes by applying very little pressure, or create a lot of pressure and it spreads out rapidly across the entire design. And at any point you can always undo that and of course go and modify the brush again. But you can also, if you want, use this design to create other brush strokes as well. So again, you can modify these or just keep it as is and just click close and apply like that. And that also can be used as a brush stroke. So it's combined it with that one on that layer. Let's just remove that, apply it again very quickly, and you can see design there. It's just a layer, and this layer can be then used here. Simply with this design, just go new brush from selection using the right side menu, and that can be saved. And then you of course can double click that and modify that. And there's loads of other options. You've got textures, you've got sub brushes. You can also add nozzles here using different variations of maybe the same sort of design. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you much.